When Robin goes low, I just talk about Juan cheating on her. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Raphael and I'm here to review Season 8, Episode 10 of The Real Housewives Who Are Never Gonna Be Friends Again of Potomac. We start the episode off with Karen and her daughter Raven heading to a tattoo shop to continue celebrating Karen's triple 20th birthday the right way, because that Texas trip, yeah, that was unforgivable. But she wants to get a tattoo in memory of her mother, Georgia. She wants to get a lowercase g tatted on her ankle. Raven, we see her, she's so pretty, and she's doing good in college in New York. I believe she's doing social media marketing. We see a montage of her doing photo shoots and video skits, so she's doing good. And could you imagine having the ground down Karen Huger as a mother? She probably wakes up every single day just constantly talking shit about Robin and Juan. Like, it must be hilarious, right? So she tells Raven, well, Raven, the other day I actually met up with Giselle Bryant, you know, Jamal Bryant's ex. Well, I actually told her that me and you, we should actually meet up with her and her daughter Grace, because Grace is going off to college, and I told her, well, my daughter could give your daughter some pointers, so what do you say? And Raven was just like, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But you know, I always wondered with the Housewives kids across all the cities, you know, how do they not have some type of animosity or feel some type of way towards the cast members that come after their mom? Like, I couldn't do that. Like, if my mom was a housewife and, you know, obviously, like, let's say Giselle, right? Giselle is talking shit about her nonstop and talking about my dad as well. And, you know, bringing up the taxes and stuff. Like, how am I supposed to forgive her? Like, yeah, my mom forgives her now just for the sake of the show. But for me, what did Cardi B say? If we're going to have beef, we're going to have beef forever. Like, I couldn't do it, right? But Raven was just like, yeah, that sounds like a perfect idea. So they get on the table to get the tattoo done, right? And Karen, I love you and all, but I think if I was a tattoo artist, I probably would have charged you a little bit more, because as he's trying to tattoo her, he's like, okay, so I'm going to put it right here, right? On your ankle. Okay, 1 second.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, okay, I'm going to try again, okay? 1 second.
Wait.
Okay, one more time. And it just kept going back and forth with Karen and these moans. So then she finally gets off the table, right? So I'm thinking, okay, this G is about to be so badass. Let's see how it looks. I'm looking at it in the reflection and I'm like, where is this G? Like, okay, I know she said lowercase, but I mean, how lowercase can you make a letter? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, where is it? Because it looks like she was in pain. Where is it? And I'm like, oh, there it is. I'm like, Karen, please, is this even considered a tattoo? I mean, it literally looked like this. There it goes. And of course, and would it be Karen if she wasn't shady towards Robin in the confessional? She was like, well, I want to get a tattoo, but I don't want to end up like Robin and Juan Dixon. And then we see in a flashback that both of them actually have matching tattoos on their ring finger. And I did not know that. That is crazy, because, I mean, could you imagine? He's probably using that ring finger on, you know, his other mistresses. And it probably smells like booty hole too. Like, Robin, the second that I found out that he was cheating on me, absolutely not. We're not matching. Snip, snip, snip. Oops, there it goes. I could go through life with 4 fingers on my left hand, because no. Then we see Candace, her mom Dorothy, and her purse, just in case if she has to whack a bitch. They're sitting down with an event planner because Candace wants to throw this big Mother's Day event, luncheon, because that's what they all have in common. They talk highly about their mothers, right? So as she's going down the line with who she's inviting, she's like, okay, I'm gonna invite Wendy, Karen, Nneka. She's gonna bring her sister, Mia, Robin. I'm not sure yet. Right now it's a little questionable. Giselle, no, I'm not inviting her, because look what she's trying to do to my family. Look what she did. As for Ashley, you know, Ashley, I'm gonna invite her because, you know, as me and her have our differences, she loves her mom Sheila, so she could bring her and her wig. And I thought that was an interesting choice, because given that, you know, their history, their current history of her ex-husband or current husband, sugar daddy, whatever you want to call it, Michael, he is currently suing you right now. So why would you even want her at your event? But we all know why. She's probably looking at it from a producer perspective, like, wait a minute. So if Giselle, Robin, or Ashley's not there, it might be a little dry, and we need some drama, we need some messiness. So why not at least reach out to Ashley and bring her along? Because we all know, realistically, Candace is not inviting Ashley to anything in the real world, right? We then see Wendy meeting up with 2 new potential showrunners for her talk show, which I completely forgot was a thing this season. Her last showrunner, she lost her damn mind, and she told Wendy, I want 50% of this whole project. And unless you're gonna put my project on Netflix, I'm gonna need you to lower that percentage down to the 30s, maybe 20s, maybe even 10s. So Wendy is telling them, so I want my show to be about politics, what's going on in the White House, with pop culture, with celebrities. It's very similar to what I wanna do with my channel this year for 2024. That's one of my goals. And I've done videos here and there discussing what's going on in the media and pop culture, but I've never been consistent. And for this year, I wanna change that and at least upload once every other week. But I just need to figure out a format and how to go about it. But it's coming, right? So Wendy tells them, okay, both of you are hired. And if I was them, I'll be like, yay, I'm working for Wendy. But, I have a couple of demands for my new work contract, right? One, you need to film a couple of scenes with me for next season. If you get asked back as a cast member, I want my camera time. Two, you need to invite me on the cast trips. I want a free vacation. Why not, right? And three, you need to invite me as a guest at the reunion and I could watch from backstage. And I also want to see what Giselle is wearing. And then we could shake on it, right? Then we see Nneka and her sister furniture shopping for Nneka's new house in Potomac. She tells us that the relationship that they used to have was like water and oil. They just didn't mix well. They always bumped heads. They were just two different people, right? Now that they're older, they could get along. They could talk to each other and hang out and there's no issue, right? So they sit down and Nneka's sister is telling her, so you're doing a lot, right? Like you're going to Candace's event, you're trying to do the IVF thing, you're furniture shopping, your house is under construction. And honestly, without placing too much blame on Nneka, right? Because it takes two to tango. I blame production for how we got Nneka introduced to this season. Like this whole entire scene between them, between the sisters and how Nneka is explaining their relationship to us and going furniture shopping for her new house in Potomac, a new place that she's living in. This whole thing should have been on episode 2, maybe episode 3. So that way we could ease our way into Nneka's life. Like we haven't seen her husband since a couple of episodes ago, and production, I really just do feel like you have failed Nneka. And yes, Nneka did discuss the shrine conversation every other episode, but production should have stepped in and said, hey Nneka, let's talk about this, or let's talk about your family dynamic. What's going on with your sister? We got a glimpse earlier this season when she told us that her mom and her sister, they are gonna judge her if she can't have a child, and she's going through IVF, so obviously it might be a struggle. So we wanna know what's going on with that, how she's dealing with those emotions in that relationship, especially with her husband. But it's just such a shame because now if you go online, I feel like now it's kind of too late. Like we're on episode 10 and we're just now getting somewhat of a proper introduction to the new housewife. And I feel like it's too late now. I feel like people have checked out from Nneka. They don't want to hear it anymore because all she talks about is the shrine, shrine, shrine. Why? Because it's edited that way. I mean, yeah, she talks about it, but production should have edited this whole season differently. Like give us a proper introduction, ask her a couple of different questions, or at least stop her from talking about the shrine conversation in her confessional too much, or set these scenes up differently. But it's just such a disappointment. And I'm willing to give Nneka another shot and, hear her out and see what's going on if she drops that whole shrine conversation, because she came off relatable with this whole conversation with her sister, because me and my sister, we were the same way. We were like water and oil. We're two completely different people and we still are, except, back then we bumped heads a lot. Now we get along and everything is peaceful. So I could relate to Nneka. But is it 10 episodes too late? Karen and Raven meet up with Giselle and Grace for some breakfast, and like I said earlier, if I was Raven, I'm not sure if I'll be too forgiving to Giselle and everything that she said about my mom and my dad on this show. So I'll be looking at her like, hey Giselle, don't get too comfortable, bitch. If I was Grace, the same situation. I'll be looking at Karen like, hey Karen, I still remember that season 5 reunion, how you embarrassed my mom with Monique. Is Jamal coming? Of course not. It wasn't funny. But anyways, they start reminiscing on the past and how Giselle and Karen met, and every time they put those throwback photos from like 5-6 years ago, it's like whiplash, like, whoa, like who is that? So Karen, she's telling Raven, so Raven, honey, Grace is going away to college soon and she wants some pointers from you because you have some experience as the Grand Dame's daughter and you need to give her some advice. So Raven, she's like, well, I mean, I know you're worried about going away to college. How's it going to be? Are you going to want to come back? And she was so cute. She was like, the tea is no. Like, you're not gonna want to come back. Like, yeah, it's gonna be hard at first, but you'll adjust to it, and you'll want to come back just to hear the gossip. But that's it. Giselle is just like, well, I'm worried because I don't want you to fall apart emotionally. And as a mom, as her mother, it's understandable. Of course, she's worried about her emotions, right? Grace is like, well, I think everything is gonna be fine. I think I'll be good. And I had a similar experience, sort of, kind of, not really with college, but more so moving out. When I moved out from my family's home from New Jersey, I moved across the country to California. And I remember when I first got here, it was nighttime, and I got to the place that I was staying at, and I just cried into the pillow. Like, I was just so many emotions, right? Like, you felt so surreal, like you're really independent, you're by yourself, you're lonely in a way, but you slowly adjust to it, and that feeling slowly fades away. So I'm hoping for the best for Grace. We then see Robin and the one and only Juan Dixon. Yes, I said it correctly. Juan Dixon, the unfaithful hotel paying jerk. He shows up, and I'm like, Juan, is that really you? Now, wait a minute. You already know where I'm going with this. Let me get my chart. Let me get my marker. Hold on. Need to update this a little bit. Give me one sec. I'm so fucking proud of you, Juan. Like, oh my God. But, okay. So, as of now, this is the chart. This is where it stands with how many episodes Juan has been a part of. He was in episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, not episode 5. Not episode 6, but he did make up for it in episode 7, 8, 9, and now this episode, episode 10. This is what I want to see, Juan. This is what I want to see. I'm so fucking proud of you. I want to see this type of energy at the reunion. You know what? Just for being in mostly every single episode this season, you deserve to go cheat. Go ahead. You get a pass. Go cheat. I was just kidding. Where do you think you're going? Put the car keys down. I was just kidding. I was just testing you. As Corey and Carter are stretching out their bodies, Robin gets a message from Candace. Juan is like, who? I don't really care. So she reads the message anyway, and she's like, hey, Robin, it's Candace. I just wanted to let you know that the producers forced me to ask you to come to my event because if I didn't, they wouldn't renew my contract for next season, and I wouldn't be allowed to come back on the show. P.S. If you do decide to come to my Mother's Day lunch, please come alone and do not bring that lying snake Giselle with you. Thank you. P.S. Is Juan still cheating on you? Anyways, but yeah, that's what she said. Here goes Juan. Oh, that's so nice of her. And Juan would piss me off if I was Robin or if I was his partner. Like, he always wants to agree with the other person. He'll never agree with anything that Robin has to say. Like, she could be in the right for once, and he'll still be like, yeah, no, I think the other person has a point. Like, no, agree with me. Pick me. Choose me. Love me. Oh, yeah, that's so nice of her. No, I mean, it is. But no. Like, F her. But, was it just me? When I saw the text message, right, I froze the screen just to read the previous messages when Robin and Karen and Candace were good. And I'm curious, because I'm a nosy bitch. I'm curious to what Robin was referring to when she texted her back in March, I believe it said. It said, I'm so sorry that this is happening to you and your family. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. What was she talking about? So then it's Robin and Juan's turn to get their bodies stretched out, and Robin is asking him, so how's that job hunting going? He's like, can you get my back? Well, I mean, I was actually thinking about it the other day, but, I haven't found anything yet. So Robin, she's trying to be all cutesy and romantic, and she's like, well, I mean, I was thinking since you have all this free time, me and you, we should spend more time together. What do you say? Juan? Juan. I'm like, so embarrassing. He fell asleep, and we all know damn well that he was sitting there like, is she still talking? She is? Okay, tell me when she's done. We get to Candace's Mother's Day event, and the place that she's hosting at, it is beautiful. There's this giant long table next to this big pool, a bunch of pink decorations on top of the table. Everything looks really, really pretty, right? So Karen, she shows up. Unfortunately, her mom has passed away, but she lets us know that she never feels lonely. She always feels that her mom is around her in spirit, right? So she's looking around and she's like, excuse me, everybody, where is everybody? The grand dame is here and I need some company. So one by one, everybody starts coming in. We see Mia. This was probably my favorite look by her. The two-piece green outfit with the bangs and the ponytail. She looks so, so beautiful. So she shows up. Unfortunately, she didn't show with her mom because I think they're in a bad place right now. She feels that her mom is not really spending too much time with her. Instead, she's spending more time with her other siblings and she's not acknowledging her. On top of that, she's still in her feelings from what happened last week. And, you know, Jacqueline, she actually took to social media to discuss what Mia said about her and her boyfriend and that whole story last week. And she said it wasn't too accurate. So there's that. Then we see Candace. She shows up with her mom, Dorothy. Dorothy shows up with her purse just in case if she has to whack a bitch. Then we see Ashley, Darby, and her mom, Sheila. And for a second, I thought we were going to have Mama Joyce versus Carmen part 2. I thought Dorothy was going to go up to Sheila like, you ain't no damn family. You know, I mean, I don't know how they were just so cordial with each other when their daughters literally hate each other. Like, again, I couldn't do it, right? Nneka and her sister walk in next and they look pretty, followed by Sleepy Charisse. Sleepy Charisse, she sleepwalks her way into the event and she's like, it's time to film? Okay, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hi, Candace. Hold on. Where's my seat? And then here goes Karen. Like, I completely forgot that they both still don't like each other. And I'm surprised that they didn't interact with each other at all. So then Candace, she gets her phone and she makes a quick call to Wendy. And she's like, Wendy, why didn't you come? Like, what's going on? Wendy, apparently she's on a book tour. You know, it's her book, what is it? What's her book called? The Lies That My Mom Said About Nneka or something like that. But apparently she's doing a book signing and that's news to me. I could have swore that book situation was from 2 years ago. And honestly, Wendy, this would have been a perfect time to clear up any type of issues that your mom had with Nneka and her mom. Like, would have been a perfect time, but I guess not, right? The reunion. Bring the moms to the reunion. But so then we see Sleepy Charisse. She's making her rounds, right? Because I'm guessing that the producers told her, okay, Charisse, you have been useless the entire season. You need to do something. So go ask questions. So Sleepy Charisse was like, okay, give me 1 second. Hey, Mia. So hi, Mia. Mia? So I was actually, I was hanging out with Jacqueline the other day, and she told me about, you know, what happened with you guys and stuff. What do you think about that? And I'm like, but Mia was just like,
oh, really? I mean, like, what happened between you and Jacqueline? Like, explain that situation. Like, why were you both hanging out?
and I'm very curious as to why Jacqueline was anywhere around Sleepy Charisse, let alone Nneka. Like, why were all three of them together? Because come to find out, Nneka in the confessional, she tells us that, yeah, they went out and that Jacqueline said everything about Mia, that she was sleeping with her coworker, sleeping with this, she was that, she was this, down the third. And Nneka, she was funny for once after 10 episodes. She was just like, oh yeah, you know, she talked to me about her for 2 hours. The least she could have done was pay the bill. She was like, I'm pretty sure that I paid for it, but that's the least she could have done. And so Nneka, you know, kudos to you for your first joke this season. But Mia, she explains to us,
I mean, me and Jacqueline, we haven't talked to each other since Mexico of last year. So, I mean, things are still a little bit rocky between us. But, I mean, I'm not really sure. I just don't have time to talk to her too much.
and like I said last week, I feel like Jacqueline should have came back this season, but what do I know, right? Charisse, she makes her way over to Ashley, and she actually asks the right question. And she's like, so Ashley, what? You know, Ashley, so when are you getting this divorce from Michael? You know, like, when are you signing the divorce papers or whatever? And Ashley is so full of shit, and I really hope that she doesn't think that we as the viewers are buying what she's saying. She's like, oh, well, you know, I'm still just not ready to let go yet. You know, my family wants me to let go of it, but I'm gonna do it on my own terms. Just say that if you sign the papers, you're gonna lose all the money. Just say that you're only doing this and you're only sticking around because you might get back together with him, and 2, because you want his money, and you know that the second that you sign those papers, he's done with you and he's not gonna give you any type of money. So they all sit down and Candace does a speech. She's like, okay, so I wanna dedicate the next song. And I'm like, oh boy, please don't let this be Drive Back for the 100th time. This is not the time. But luckily, it was a new song called Wind. And she's like, this song represents a connection between the mother or something like that, what a mother's love does, right? And she's like, You're gonna win. You're gonna win. You're not a burden to me. You're gonna win. You're gonna win. Ooh. And the mic was on. The mic was on, allegedly. But she sounded good, though. So, Candace, really kudos to you for giving us a new song. Keep this going. And somebody in the comments last week, they wanted me, you know how I do the chart for Juan to see how many episodes he's been in this season? Somebody wanted me to do a chart for Chris, Candace's husband, and yikes. Okay, so I have it right here. You know, it's not as, interesting as Juan's, but here we go. So these are the amount of episodes that Chris has been in this entire season. Episode 1, nope. Episode 2, he's been in one episode. Episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. He has not been a part of it. Robin didn't show up to the Mother's Day event, but she did agree to meet with Candace one-on-one, and that's what they did. And where did the conversation go? Nowhere. It just went in circles because they started talking about Candace's tweets and everything that she was saying online and interviews and how that offended Robin. Candace is like, I don't understand what I said to offend you. Candace, like I keep saying, you're acting delusional because if it was the other way around and Robin had tweeted this, and this about you, I'm pretty sure that you'll be in your feelings, you'll be crying, you'll be like, why would you say that about me and my husband? You'll do the same thing. And Robin, you're also full of it too because you're like, I know we're on a TV show, but that doesn't mean that we have to share everything going on in our lives. I'm not throwing Juan underneath the bus for entertainment. And that's the problem right there, Robin, between you and Giselle, mostly Giselle, but both of you come in a 2-for-1 package. That's the problem right there. You two have no issue, or you have no issue letting your best friend, Giselle, throw everybody else's marriage, everybody else's husband, everybody else's issues in their face or underneath the bus. But yet when it comes to you and once you're in the hot seat and we're talking about your marriage and your husband, all of a sudden is, oh no, this is sacred. I'm not talking about this. This is not entertainment. But yet it could be entertainment for everybody else's husband, everybody else's marriage. But again, when it comes to you, it's, oh no, we're not talking about this. Like, no. And what do you mean? Oh, we're on a TV show. We don't have to talk about everything. Then what are we talking about? Because if we have that mentality, then you and Giselle are just skating by. Mostly Giselle, because I mean, what do we really know about either one of you? Like, you two are just there, just moving along, but not really giving us anything. So, and I promise you, Robin, if it was the other way around and Chris, Candace's husband, had cheated on her, right? And we found out and she never mentioned any of this on the show, I'm pretty sure that you and Giselle will be pissed. You two will be coming at Candace and telling Andy, you see, she's not sharing her life. Look what happened. Look what happened. Look what happened. I'm pretty sure that it'll probably be 10 times worse if Candace was to do the same thing that you did with Juan. So please save it. And then on top of that, she wants to make it seem as if she's like this amazing friend to Candace. And, both of them have their own faults with each other. But Robin, let's remember back in Miami of last season on the trip where you took a Carter and Corey speaker from their room. You took it down to Miami with you, and you put it at the center of the table and trying to expose Candace from her talking shit about everybody on the Instagram Live. What kind of friend does that? That right there, that would have been enough for me to ask Candace to just end that friendship, because obviously you're not a true friend if you're trying to put me on blast like that in front of everybody on a speakerphone at that. So eventually Candace was like, look, I just don't understand how you could be friends with somebody like Giselle, somebody who tried to do this and this and this to my family, to my husband, like birds of a feather flock together. And that right there, Candace, as well, even if Robin was to come to this meeting and apologize to you and get on her knees in front of you, like, Candace, I'm so sorry. I'm on Team Chris and Candace, I apologize. Giselle is over there. I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't forgive her. You don't want to hear an apology. You don't want to move forward with Robin unless she's not friends with Giselle. So you could stop with the whole, I just don't understand why she's not speaking to me, blah, 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 blah. That's not good enough for you. Until she's done with Giselle, you're going to be done with Robin. So, and Robin is not going to do that anytime soon. I don't think she is. So yeah, this whole friendship is done between both of you. And like I keep saying, something needs to change for next season, because it's clear that Giselle and Robin will never speak to Candace. I don't see that happening. I mean, maybe Robin, but I still don't see it as long as her and Giselle are friends, because Candace is not having that. So, that was that. Their conversation really didn't go anywhere. And Candace was like, you know what? Whatever, this friendship is not a thing anymore. She gets up and she walks away. And what was so funny was that there was a woman sitting right behind Candace. Oh, she was so nosy. She was like this the whole time. And then as Candace was walking out, she scooted her chair up and she looked at Candace like... And that was that. Candace said on Watch What Happens Live to Andy that she has a lot of things that she has to say at the reunion. And I'm not really sure what she means by that. What more can she say? I'm not really sure how this whole thing is going to play out in the end moving forward, right? So we shall see. But let me know what you all thought about this whole entire episode down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah.